What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we're doing another realistic rebuild on Madden 22, and today we're doing one of the last teams for realistic rebuilds, maybe even the last team for the year. Of course, when the draft comes around, we'll likely do, maybe round 1, 2, maybe even 3 rebuilds of teams, specifically if they added a lot. If the Texans end up trading Deshaun Watson like Tampa or something, we got to do a rebuild for them, or whatever kind of stuff like that happens. But outside of that, the regular base teams, if you will, I think one of the last, if not the last team, and we're going to rebuild them. Of course, you think maybe it's more of a reload than a rebuild, even though in real life they do kind of sell, but they do obviously have all that talent. No one's going to freaking deny it. But with the cap situation, some of the ratings, it actually is sort of a rebuild. Obviously, you do have your starting quarterback and your wide receivers for the future, but there are a lot of questions across the board outside of that. Tyron Smith and Zach Martin definitely getting up there in age. 31 years old is definitely nothing to shake a leg at. I don't know if that's a thing you say. Zach Martin, though, one of those guys that just never gets talked about anymore. I know there was a lot of injury concerns, but just feel like no one talked about him last season and all. Zeke, I dropped down to a star because he just didn't play that well. Honestly, I swear they used him more than Pollard because they didn't want to look dumb for the contract they gave him. Which, in fairness, I don't really say that it was at the time dumb, but Pollard easily and obviously outplayed him, without a doubt. Once again, though, speaking of the offensive line, very good unit when healthy, which is the big question for them year in and year out. A little bit better this year for injuries, but still questionable. Tight end Dalton Schultz was pretty decent. CeeDee Lamb was debatably better than Amari Cooper, despite the ratings. Dak was pretty good. Defensively, Trayvon Diggs, of course, is a superstar in the game. He actually went up to X Factor because of the picks. I ain't about that. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. He's not that good. He is obviously overrated. I don't even know if I could say he's overrated at this point, because I think any actual NFL fan knows that he's not very good. Not that he's not bad, right? Taking the risk and getting the pick is huge. Giving your team a possession is big. But at the same time, we do know that in the league, punts happen, right? Obviously. So interceptions aren't always just, oh, it's great. He basically stopped 7 points. That's not always how it works. There's teams that punted a lot. And if you're getting picks, sure. But unless those directly result to points, they're not always saving touchdowns. Your team could have made a stop and got a punt off of them. But what I can tell you is Trayvon got targeted a lot, and he got burnt a lot. And he just simply isn't a superstar or X Factor. I can see why they gave him superstar, to try to cover their tails a little bit, of course, for one. Just to, people that are like, what do you mean, 11 picks? He's only starred Ev? But also because of kind of the Tariq Cohen effect. Maybe not the best player at each position, but both superstars, if you will, able to make really superstar-like plays. No one's going to really deny that Trayvon Diggs has really good hands. So, I can understand that, but for me, dropped him to star, and then the way DeMarcus Lawrence played this season, I put him back at superstar. It's been a long time coming for that man to go back to superstar or X Factor. Really good year from him. Randy Gregory was pretty good. Keanu Neal, I'm pretty sure, was awful. Leighton Vander Esch was really bad. I think he was all right against the Niners in the playoffs, but once again, Leighton Vander Esch, ever since that injury, man, even kind of like during the season of his injury, was it 2019? Kind of iffy, dude. He's not been a guy that you really want to re-sign, especially the price the game's going to ask for. Micah Parsons, obviously insane. Had easy, arguments to be the defensive player of the year himself. Safety play, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about what they've done at safety. Javon Curse maybe was decent. I don't know. Anthony Brown, I don't think was that good. Kelvin Joseph, I think, was okay, but I don't know how much he even played. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about the secondary of this team outside of Trayvon Diggs, but yeah, DT, I don't think they've had a good DT since, Jay Ratliff. I don't even know how long ago that was, but a long time ago is my guess. And then I wouldn't even begin to tell you where the kicker and punters lie. But everything else, pretty spot on, I feel. Just going over the Cowboys, I think that's kind of the gist of it. Of course, the Rams won the Super Bowl. We all saw that. We all see the memes of, Stafford already the same as Rodgers with rings, leaving the Lions for 1 year, as if he didn't actually play really mediocrely throughout the season and had similar stats to Jared Goff's freaking Super Bowl run. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest, but 2 interceptions, like 55% in the Super Bowl? Complete, I don't know what it would. Really good first half. Sold the hell out of the second half. Luckily for him, Joe Burrow ain't got a damn line. He ain't got no line. God damn, what a team sport the NFL is that people forget about sometimes. But let's potentially re-sign players that we can't afford. That's going to be fun. Tony Pollard, a guy that I think knows his value. If I'm Tony Pollard, there's no shot in hell I am re-signing with the Dallas Cowboys. No chance. To be the backup and get paid significantly less? No. I also sold. I did kind of sell. Meant to put a draft class on earlier, but if you guys are interested in more videos like these, rebuilds, franchise videos, NFL talk videos, whatever it is, maybe think about leaving a like and subscribing. Maybe, just maybe, I gotta make sure this isn't the Stafford one. I did a Stafford thing, obviously, recently enough, and that'd be a little awkward. Stafford goes number 1 overall. But maybe check out the second channel, PK Place, twitch.tv/JeromepkR for streams, and then twitter.com/JeromepkR for some funny tweets every once in a while. But, that's kind of it. But re-signings, $7 million left. Not a lot, considering the names they're going to lose. Gallup is 1,000% gone. Randy Gregory, I can't imagine they keep him. Dalton Schultz came up big this season. Can't imagine they keep him. Leighton Vander Esch, unless his agent really knows what his value is, which is kind of not a lot, can't keep him. There are some names here that we cannot keep. Connor Williams, like one of the worst, what would I call it, disciplined offensive linemen in the league, it seems. No shot. Now, while these names aren't like crazy big, all of them at least, it is still semi-significant at some spots. We can live with no Gallup. Connor Williams you can live with. In-game, Leighton Vander Esch is a guy you wouldn't want to lose, but for a 3-year 20, the realistic thing, like I said, would be not re-signing him. He hasn't played well enough to be re-signed. I know he had a really good rookie year, but outside of that, he's just not been great. But really the main man you'd be losing is honestly Randy Gregory, at least the way he played. And you can see here it's pretty relevant to his ratings, actually. But there's not much you can do. I think you just have to let these guys walk and just, try to smile as hard as you can, because it's not easy. You're going to be pretty sad about it. Before that, I probably should have checked if we had anyone we could have released. I highly doubt it. But, yeah, I should have checked. And as you can see here, nope, no one you could release unless you're willing to get rid of Cooper or Lawrence, which I just don't see that being smart. Blake Jarwin is still on the freaking roster. It's funny is I seen something that was like, oh, it's okay that they lose Dalton Schultz. They've got the safety blanket, Blake Jarwin. It's like, I get it. Schultz wasn't that good, or he's not that important to keep, but he's obviously better than Blake Jarwin. It's not even close, dude. It's just not even close. But Tony Pollard, I honestly thought was going to need a contract here. Did they re-sign him to something? Did they rob my man Pollard? No shot. What is this? Does he actually have a deal? When was he drafted? He must have been drafted semi-high. I thought he was a third-rounder. Which I guess 4-year kind of makes sense, actually, if he's a third-rounder. It was a 4-year. Okay. So, with Zeke's contract kind of being removable in 2024, I mean, maybe you re-sign Pollard, even though in Madden I don't think that's a smart call. I think in Madden, Tony Pollard sucks. But, well, in Madden for Sim, he's really good for using, obviously. He's super fast, good juking. What else could you really want? But for Madden Sim, he's really bad, and Zeke will obviously play way better than him. But in real life, you got to assume if Tony Pollard keeps playing the way he is, they're going to have to choose Pollard over Zeke, right? So I might have to boost Pollard because he obviously played better than an 81 overall. And the way the game is built, he just can't play well at his current rating. I've never seen him do well in Sim. This is going to hurt our re-signing, but once again, in real life, he's obviously better than an 81 and will get that kind of money. So let's try to reflect him based on, what he's good at, I suppose. Break tackle. I would say you can even argue that he's faster than 93 speed. Agility, I understand. I think an 85 overall is fair, and I think that might be something he starts with next Madden. Like, he just outplayed Zeke in, every single chance he had. It's just, Like, Zeke looked awful when you compare him to him. Obviously, Zeke was not technically bad, but he definitely wasn't good when you consider the line he's playing behind and what Pollard was able to do. But, yeah, we really don't have any money. I mean, I don't know who we have to re-sign in the future, but you can see that overall drop from an 87 to a 81. It was not a good drop there. Dak's money goes up. Lawrence goes slightly up. Cooper's kind of like across the board. About the same. Zach kind of drops. I mean, you can see here, we're not in a good spot. I mean, there's really no money, like crazy money we save anytime soon either. So, I mean, this is a team that's kind of stuck with some of the contracts they made. Not that they're all bad, but the Zeke one's definitely coming back to bite them a little bit. But I really think it's going to have to come down to us being as conservative as possible and just drafting well. That's what this rebuild's going to be about. We offered a little bit, nothing crazy. I highly doubt we even get anyone, to be honest, other than maybe the punter. We actually got Anthony Harris. It was a 2-year 4, which I'd like to change to a 1-year 3. I feel like with the way his ratings are and it's him being a safety, a 1-year 3 isn't crazy of an expectation for a guy that's, not as athletic as he once was. Definitely an insane value pick. Maybe also the fact that it's Dallas. It's also a team with, a good history. Let's just call it how it is, whether people want to clown the Cowboys all the time or not. But it definitely is a team that, people would like to play for. It definitely has a lot of potential still, even with the losses we just have taken. But yeah, definitely looking to draft a little bit in the secondary. First pick in the draft, though, probably should be an edge defender. I think it's pretty important. But yeah, this team's not in a great spot cap-wise either. It's without a doubt. We got the punter, Jan Brown. We offered a 3-year 13. Didn't accept it, which would have been a huge saving for us because we kind of need 2 linebackers, and I only kind of have like 1. But whoops. Actually, we do have Jabril Cox. We're not super screwed. Kind of wish Bernard and Kenny wasn't getting offered, though. All right, 81 overall, entering the draft. Let's see who the Jags take. Should be an edge. Left tackle. That is, kind of a thing as of late that we've been seeing in real life. So, in the mock drafts, doesn't really absolutely surprise us, right? Got to protect Trevor Lawrence, without a doubt. I almost called him Trevor Williams. Remember Trevor Williams? He was pretty good. Kyle Hamilton to the Giants would be kind of clutch. One of the best players in the draft. Maybe you just go best available if you're them. And then they go quarterback, which, I don't absolutely hate, right? Kenny Pickett, I guess, isn't a terrible choice. Chris, really. Kenyon Green. We're going to go to our next pick, a.k.a. our first pick. And if Ekwonu is there, that's probably who we take. And he is. The problem is, I don't know if he's actually going to be there. I've seen a lot of people thinking he's going 19. So I want to at least see a couple of drafts where he goes this far or comes close to this far. The average pick for this man is like top 5, top 10 at worst. I can't, dude. It's just not realistic. This would be a spot that like a Trent McDuffie may be there if he's actually there. We do see a couple of other guys though. McCreary might be decent. Once again, the kind of sucky part of going to the now part of the class, you don't get a whole lot of scouting on these guys, so I have no idea really what I'm looking at. I really want Ekwonu, if that's even how you say his name, because we lost the guard, but like I said, it just isn't realistic. You'd really go that high for a free safety? I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I really don't. Like I said, DT's a huge need for this team. I just don't know a whole lot about this Wyatt fella. Might be decent, but we have other needs as well. I almost debate you trade this to like the start of the second round and just take whatever corner is available. Maybe it is McDuffie. See him around 24 to like end of the first. So that's a little bit more realistic than, a guy that's being recently projected as a top 10 pick in the first round. It's going to be so annoying that we're going to trade this pick to the... Who has the Rams pick? This be the Lions, right? Wait, they don't have 32? Who the hell is 32 then? Did the Bengals get 32 even though I force... What the hell is going on right here? Left, right, left. I'm just going to go for the first pick in the... Let's go to the Jags. Screw it. Thank you. At least there... We know what's up with this pick, right? We at least know what we're getting. I also don't really want to bet on them next season. If I can get this pick, I might do it. They said this was a little bit in favor of us, but once again, we're the team trading down, so we should be gaining. It shouldn't be a fair trade anyways, so we trade a fourth this with pick 24, and then a 5th next for 33 and 65, which I don't really mind because, once again, if we can still get Trent, that would be a huge trade for us, which the Jaguars get an edge rusher, which is actually a very big need for them. Don't like that Elam just went. Malik to the Titans, that's a very good move. Of course, Aquanu goes to the Buccaneers. I don't know if that's even how you say his name, but luckily for you guys, I will not be saying his name for the rest of the video because, once again, we didn't draft him. And we have issues. My pick is still a pick away, right? Okay, I mean, we should have our pick. We might have just saved it with that, by the way. I don't know if we did or not, but McDuffie seems to be there still. I imagine he is. And I think with one of the bigger needs being corner, maybe even, I wouldn't say the biggest need, but for how important the position is, Trent McDuffie's my pick. And he's hidden. Okay, I actually thought he was normal, but I will admit, I thought a lot of these guys were normal. The only one I know that is hidden is Daxton Hill there. Now I know Trent McDuffie is hidden. I thought he was normal, so that's actually huge. But looking at cornerback, I think we're set now. Trayvon Diggs with McDuffie at number 2. I know Anthony Brown should be the number 2, but yeah, ooh, Kelvin Joseph. We just drafted a corner that we didn't really need. Completely forgot about Kelvin Joseph. Not gonna lie there. Well, I mean, we see what the Panthers did. They drafted like 45 corners, and they already have a bunch of corners. They traded for a corner, you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. Now I think we're gonna pull one of our classic moves, and that is to move down until we see Christopher Allen or Sanders go. And then as soon as that happens, we're gonna be taking the other one, because that is hands down the number 1 need. But I don't mind that pick at corner. Now it actually really makes you think, why the hell would I have drafted him if he's normal when you have freaking Kelvin Joseph that needs to start? That would have been a huge L if he was normal. But at least he's hidden, so he's a good pick. He's going to be our number 2. Kelvin Joseph is going to be number 3. He's going to slowly develop. Wyatt was one of my choices, but he should have been a little bit gone earlier. But I'm not saying I'm hoping Allen's here soon, but I really don't want to lose Papoe, I think that's his name is. Really need a middle linebacker too, but I don't know, dude. Christopher Allen goes. The Colts do need edge. We have pick 24 here. I kind of want to keep 24, though, if I can. I'd rather use up the pick that we got from the trade down, because if we can get that middle linebacker at 24, that would be insane. Or do we risk it? Do we have any other edge? If we have any other edge that looks halfway decent, I may just risk it. Which is crazy to think, but we have so much talent here that it'd be nice to just keep piling up. Ali Gay, he looks pretty good actually too. Be pursued. Don't know a whole lot about him, but I know he's fast, and that's really what I need. I need some speed. You can work with almost anyone if they're halfway decent. Sanders, though, is pretty damn talented. B finesse with the 21 years of age, also very speedily. We do have a couple of edge rushers. I'm not trading up for the middle linebacker, so I'm actually going to go to pick 24 and just hope for the best, dude. One of those two be there, the middle linebacker or the edge. Or if both, that would be even cooler. And no shot. They're both there. There's more edge than there is middle linebacker, so I'm going to go with, actually I'm going to check, because once again, this guy may be a little bit higher projected than this. I think right now, I'd say real life, he probably is a second rounder, but if he kills it at the draft in real life, he may be a little bit higher. I don't know. There's a good couple of linebackers there. I think this is fair enough. I'm going to take him. He is normal, but that's what we're looking for, is that speed, that excel. I think Jabril will be on the outside with him as the true number 1. Sanders is not a guy I really want to lose, and 6 or 7, whatever, 8 spots, math is tough, is probably worth a trade up. We'll do it. They actually said this was not terrible, so I'll give them that 5th round pick with a 6 next. Wanted to keep our 6 this just to have some options, but fair enough. Not a bad play, actually, to hopefully grab the edge of the future. We normally kill our nothing. We normally don't do well, is what I was going to say, in these first-year real-life drafts, but we're actually kind of killing it. Let's see what Sanders is like. Please be good. He's hidden. Okay, I mean, our knowledge for this draft class definitely going up a little bit as well with these hiddens, but that's big. We said we really, that's what she said, we really needed a good draft out of this because of the cap situation, the losses of free agency, and we're kind of hitting. I mean, we're kind of hitting. And even though it's a little maybe kind of messed up, we may still go with Billingsley at 24 if he's there. We really could use a lineman, though. the DT wouldn't hurt either. We've got okay names there that are like fill-ins. You don't really technically need to replace them, but I don't really feel too comfortable with them at starter. So Salyer is definitely a guy I would like to have as well. Be a pretty good plug at left guard spot, but man. All right, let's go to our next pick. Salyer is, I think, a guy that just isn't going to be available around this pick in real life. So we're probably looking to just... Wait, Lewis Kine or Cine, whatever his name is still there. Billingsley, though, dude. Screw it, I'm taking Billingsley. I don't care. Hidden development trait. He always gets drafted to a team needing a backup. We need a starter. You know, he never really was that great for us in previous, rebuilds. I like this. I like him as our starter. Hands down starter, too, like without a doubt. Could have used the safety. I like the Trent McDuffie pick, but when you look at what we actually needed, I don't know if I like it now. Wait, hold up. Am I seeing that Kelvin Joseph played safety and he was actually recruited as a safety? What? Is this allowed? Is this genuinely allowed? He's got that speed, though. I don't know if I want to waste him. I'm putting him at safety. I really hope I don't ruin this rebuild. It's like, yeah, he was recruited as a safety, but he sucked, so they put him at corner, and that's the only reason why he went high. You just ruined the entire rebuild. I'm sorry if I did. I truly apologize, but I'm hearing safety. I'm putting him at safety, brother man. Okay? I'm sorry, but it's happening. Okay? We need a new player, and that's my guy. All right? What can I tell you? We needed a DT. Zachary Carter is a decent player, probably, but not really technically a DT. We'll go to the next round if Carter's there. I mean, guess we'll juice up our final trade up, I guess. I don't know. But I got to like our draft. I don't mind it. Obviously, it's very solid. We drafted a middle linebacker that's normal, but definitely still workable. Oh, look, they forgot about Trey. 6'3", semi-fast, Alec Pierce. Why not? Unprojected free agent, but... whatever. Not all the undrafted projection guys are going to go undrafted. They're projected that way, but, you don't want to lose a prime prospect to some other grabby little team that gets them before you get a chance. But, of course, we did all right to save the cap. We did a great job in the draft with 5 picks. Didn't really add anything for next year. We lost a little, but overall we made a good play. 73, 70, 71, 70 with 3 hit-ins out of the bunch. Trent McDuffie going to be playing our number 2 cornerback spot with Anthony Brown going back to a better number 3 spot for himself. And Trent was a star. I expect them all to be stars. We already know Billingsley's a star. And then Sanders, the automatic starter at right end. Gotta love that. That was a good pick. I don't know how good Christopher Allen is. I don't want to look at any of the other players because, once again, I don't want to spoil too much for myself. Star development trait as expected. And, plug-and-play starters for 4 positions. Pierce even maybe at the number 4 spot. Not a lot of depth at wide receiver here. Once again, it's one of the positions that takes a hit, specifically depth-wise, when you don't have money, is the cornerback and wide receiver position, which, luckily, we at least grab some players. I mean, you can see even here after the draft, we have 57 players on the roster. That's pretty bad. You're supposed to have like 75. And half of them are freaking running backs. How many do you damn need, Dallas? Stop. I know it may be not the super most realistic thing in the world, but I'm trading Blake Jarwin off. Is he a decent blocker? I really don't know what his business is, but trade him off to some team that could use a tight end that's broke as hell as well. I went right to the Green Bay Packers. That's one of the teams I think of tight end needy and broke. But I don't know if anyone wants this, man. But $5 million, saving 3 technically for this team that is so tight on money. I know it's a little bit of a dead hit. You kind of need to do whatever you can. And obviously Billingsley's going to be the clear-cut starter anyways. Really? They won't even take him. I know it's interdivisional, but honestly, I'm trying to remember. You got to give me a second. I don't remember asking, to be honest. We got our 6th. Ball. You can have our ball. Give it back when you're done, though. We're going to make a trade. Anthony Brown needs a contract, I believe, even whether he does or not, he is getting paid like $4 or $5 million that we can clear, and we don't really need him anymore, so we're going to get rid of him, like I said, for a 5th round to Seattle. I was going to try to get Damian Lewis, but I think he actually needed a contract or was going to. And more importantly, he was a high third-round pick for Seattle, and he's a starter. So I don't really think it was super realistic. And once again, we got to save as much money as we can. I don't think we can replace our left guard, so McGovern's going to play there, even though he's a lower overall. I will say, at the end of the day, no team is perfect across the board. If you were going to let one of your positions slip, one of the guards wouldn't be the worst call in the world. So we're here technically with year one. Of course, the offensive line technically got worse. We didn't add to it. We could have, but I think the other needs that we addressed instead, like Billingsley, was kind of like the direct choice comparison, was either Billingsley or maybe Salyer, if that's his name, left guard. I think is the better choice. Long-term, Billingsley is a lot better for us, whereas an offensive lineman, I'm not even 100% sure how much it would matter with this sick team. So, I mean, it would help, but choosing one or the other, I think we made the right call. Running back, Zeke still has a chance to turn it around here for us, but yeah, I think it's fair that we dropped him to star. I think it's fair that we brought Pollard up. Pollard's going to be the third down running back. It's kind of his last season, so if he really pulls off another really good year, maybe we pay him. I'm not sure, though. It kind of depends on, A, how much money we have left, and B, once again, how well he plays. Defensively, we definitely have some normal devs here, but a couple of potentials. The number one middle linebacker definitely has a ton of potential. The free safety, Kelvin Joseph, has a ton of potential. Cox is probably too late, 66 overall, 24 years old. I mean, he's not bad because his base ratings are pretty good, but the fact that he didn't start basically for the full year with those, no XP, it's a bit of an L. We definitely need to draft DT. It's probably the number one need going forward, and then probably a left guard as well. But once again, it comes down to how much money we may have left over. I'm not exactly sure every name we need to sign, but I'd say this should be a pretty tame year outside of Pollard. So as expected, Tony Pollard, which actually is more of a fair contract than I would have expected. As far as once again, when we were talking about re-signing him, I was thinking if you had to re-sign him, you probably would have had to pay a ton of money, IRL, and that's not bad. As far as game goes, 4.0 yards per carry as the backup is good enough, but I kind of want to see how Zeke's playing before I do any sort of re-signings there. Zerline's probably going to regress to a point where it's not going to be worth keeping him, and then everyone else is kind of just a backup. This might come back to bite us because I want Zeke to still be the starter, but Pollard for a 5-year 38, I think is good money for him. Maybe he sees some of the other players around the league, specifically like a Le'Veon Bell type. What happens when you don't have a sick running back? This team alone, a sick running back, sick offensive line. This team itself has been a cautionary tale for running backs as well. Kind of a DeMarco Murray situation. But I think that's fair compensation. I think he's happy to be financially set for life and still has a lot of play time. I mean, we have him as the third down running back, and I try to put him in as much as I can for the backup spot. As obviously, if you were using this team, you would definitely use him even more. But I don't know, I think it's realistic. I don't know if they can afford him in real life, but in game, at some point, I kind of just have to I kind of have to just let the game play. I can't just adjust the rosters and the salary cap for the whole league every season, as this is a weird season. Speaking of, but yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm all right with the re-signing. It's not like we offered him like a 4-year 20. It's a 5-year 38. It's pretty good. And yeah, like I said, weird season as we had a 4-game win streak, then a 4-game losing streak. Then we won 3 in a row, and then it started to get a little bit more normal where you win, lose, kind of stuff like that. But yeah, we made the playoffs. Is that the Falcons wide receivers going off? Dak, not a good season, but running back Zeke did actually play worse as the season went on. He was like 5.4 yards per carry at the midway point and ended at 4.9, but it's still really good. Should be a dev up to superstar. Cooper was pretty good. CeeDee Lamb was a little less good. Pierce was good. Billingsley was good. And that was pretty much it. Offensive line, really good performances. And then sack totals. DeMarcus Lawrence, 11.5. Everyone else, I mean, Micah Parsons was still good. Just, very hard to keep up with that season he had. Same with Diggs for interceptions. Zerline only missed 1 kick out of 16. That's actually really good. Kyler Murray, the MVP of the league. Any award wins at all? Zach Martin. It's kind of just like a, it's like a Cowboys special. You just get that by default around here. But let's go against these Washington football team players, Washington Commanders at this point. Next season, I imagine that's when it's going to all happen, right? Like they already announced it and all that. So I'd imagine it's next season. But here we go. Going against them at home. This is a game that you definitely have to win. We're not in rebuild mode. This is more of a reload, like we said. Obviously, we have a little bit more youngsters starting than we would have liked, but it's still a very strong roster, and we're down 14-0. Please, dude. How? Washington's offense can't even put up 17 points, let alone hold in. I guess maybe their defense even played bad last year. I mean, we're definitely in a comeback here, and it's going to be an overtime game. Oh, at their own 7. 3rd and 24, that's just too much to ask for. Heineke's still the starter, and you're really expecting me to expect them to go toe-to-toe with this team? I mean, it is the Cowboys. I'll give you that. They're very inconsistent, but they ain't Taylor Heineke for 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick, inconsistent. Unless they are. To be fair, I don't really know how they play against each other in real life. Once again, it's a divisional situation. It's a completely different beast when you're in the division playing against another division rival. It just seems like everything that makes sense goes right out the window. That's what happened here, but we held on, and we're headed to the divisional at least. Which is ironic. We just talked about division. Going to be maybe the Saints in this one. It is the Vikings who actually have a home game here. Vikings in game have been very solid lately. Definitely more holes to the team than they're putting on for the fact that they're actually, once again, making the postseason and actually getting home game field advantage and whatnot. But yeah, that offense seemingly is carrying pretty well. And that's not a good sign for us because we played really bad against Washington's offense. So if Washington could do things against us, Minnesota should have a very good game as they have put up 10 so far, 17, 24. That's not just their offense, though. That's our offense. It's not even our defense. It's our offense giving them so many opportunities. And, I mean, this is a GG. We're going to lose to the freaking Vikings here. Come on, their defense isn't even that good. They've got a few pieces here and there, but, I mean, half the roster's dying of old age. Look at this performance. These two should be ashamed. I know Kirk was okay enough, but that's a bad performance. That's Taylor Heineke literally had better numbers than these two combined. I almost just said Zeke, not great, but not terrible. Well, Dalvin was a lot better. I thought this was going to be like a big run, but no. Pollard really just not being involved. I really kind of just, once again, signed him for realism rather than need per se, but I don't know how much money he's going to be like locked into long term. So maybe in a couple of years we trade him for maybe even a first round pick, something decent. Kept that great talent around. So it's not a bad thing at that price. So automatically it's an investment. This is like Apple stock. We'll get something out of it. As Philly, of all teams, is going to make it out of the NFC. Of course they lose because it's the Chiefs, so what do you expect? But Philadelphia, are you serious? Oh my. Zeke, of course, is back to a superstar. He's only an 89 overall, though, because obviously it's been a couple of seasons now where he was star development trade, technically. CeeDee Lamb, 84 overall, really not developing that well. The tight end gets to a 76. That's okay. D-line, my boy! DeMarcus Lawrence, of course, one of my favorite players in the game. I mean, he's all right in real life. I like him too, but really just mainly like him in the game more than anything. Trayvon Diggs gets the superstar. This guy just can't stay away from high dev. It's just he's goated, apparently. He's like glitched out of his mind. Defensive tackles, like I said, they're just not good. We just got to do something about that. But Cox wouldn't be the worst thing to upgrade as well. I know everyone's got a little insecurity with their Cox. He's just started out a little old. He's a little flaccid. He's not as perky as he once was. But apparently we somehow have 30 mil, which is a little weird because I thought we had 30 mil before signing Pollard. I guess maybe we cleared up a little bit more money with some guys going down a little bit of money this season. but I thought Dak was a huge increase this year. But Anthony Harris, not a bad little fill-in, but we should get someone a little bit more athletic out there. Greg Zuerlein was good for us. I know he dropped a little bit, but if he wants to stick around for $3 million, I'm cool. Thank you. I mean, the way he played, he deserves it. All right, I don't care. We also clear some money with Jordan Lewis. We do have to save some money for Lamb to be re-signed and Trayvon Diggs, but we also are saving some money with DeMarcus Lawrence, who's being paid $29 million this year. The following season, assuming we keep him even on a tag or something like that, would be obviously a lot cheaper. Tyron Smith would be about that price, assuming he sticks around. But overall, I mean, we're in an okay spot for cap space. We just got to save, like I said, about 10, 14 mil maybe. So for some of the names in free agency, Jair Alexander, very realistic name. Green Bay, especially with the recent reports. Definitely going to be looking a little rough on money, but obviously in this scenario, Rodgers is here, so it's kind of irrelevant, that conversation. Brady decided to come back, but nobody wanted him because that's what we know would happen in real life. Bobby Wagner, I think the only position we could really spend money on is probably DT or safety. We obviously just seen that it really doesn't matter who you have at guard on this team, at least left guard and whatnot, because you just got so much talent everywhere else. So, I mean, realistically, I'd say we just draft some random guy to play guard, even if he sucks, at least he's developing. And we don't really mind too much because, once again, the rest of the line is goated. Ioannidis could actually be a huge addition to this team, but I just don't want to. Sometimes you just don't want to do something. I just don't want to. Honestly, I just don't feel it. I don't like it. Doesn't help that this is like outside of Tyrann Mathieu, of course, which I think is just a bit out of our price range. It's a pretty weak safety group in free agency. I do want to draft someone, but the fact that we need a DT, a left guard, and at least a linebacker, then you also need a safety. I mean, I just don't know if we can grab all of that, so I'd prefer to at least land something. Maybe a 2-year 15 for Poyer could be sick. Let's offer a 2-year 15 for Poyer. It pays to go for the undesirable, even though, even at that age and 83 overall, he's all right. Obviously, he's not spectacular, but for a sim, he should be good enough. Don't also know what our draft picks are like. Let's quickly gander at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, I think we're if we land 2 of the players, specifically DT and left guard, I mean, we're in a good spot. We had a really good year 1 draft, which is surprising because we never do well in a real-life class. And, yeah, this could be a really good year as well. I'm glad I put this guy on the expert scouting bullcrap because clearly this is all the information I was deserving of. Come on, dude. It's the point of it. The new scouting thing, even though it's not new at this point, had potential, and it just didn't deliver. Simply put, it really didn't, unfortunately. Pick 25 and 147 to move up to 24. 2 defensive tackle types went before us. Rennick was probably my number 1 because of his A power move, but I suppose Francisco here is bigger, and he has B block shed with B power move. Of course, both players are very athletically inclined. I don't really think either one is better than the other, but we'll find out after the draft. Just be hidden, and he is. Okay, I was a little worried. There's a feeling that the other guy could be normal. We see those A power moves are always like high potential guys because, of course, the ultimate goal is being able to pass rush. Doesn't really matter what if you're star, superstar, X Factor, normal, whatever it is. If you got really good pass rush ability, that's the goal. So if you get to the quarterback well, boom, you've done your job. But as far as, the devs go, they usually are lower the better they are statistically out the gate. We trade a second next year and pick 89 this for 46 from the Buccaneers, which even then is a little debatable, but it's at least better. I assume someone's going to be there, which is why we made the trade in the first place. May even make one more trade from 25 up. I don't really know what I want here, but there's a couple of options. You got 2 of the linemen, which I think means that we probably will be drafting linebacker. This guy looks absolutely nuts. Would finish the linebacking group, but we also have Randy Johnson, who I'm a little surprised. I don't know anything about him, but I am a little surprised he's still there. He's super athletic. He's 6'3", but the fact that he is still here, even though he could go any one of these picks, makes me a little hesitant. I'm going to take Aaron Clifton, though. Just clear-cut best choice, and he is hidden. Once again, another guy that I thought maybe had a chance of just being normal, but you can't deny those the coverages. Like, it's just insane. I was about to say, we're going to wait till one of the linemen goes, and I think that was one of them, right? I'd imagine. And it was. Really, all we need is this guard now, and we may have had the perfect draft, which is just insane. We trade 57 this and a 4th next year for 48, which isn't like a crazy jump. It's, 9 or some picks. But let's take our center. If he's the one that isn't hidden, I'm going to be shocked. Because these are the guys that are always, the hiddens. Of course, he's 23, which is a little sucky, but, I mean, the A's all across the board. You can't deny that, and he is hidden. So, the perfect draft. Literally the perfect draft. We killed it. I do want to see what that center or the safety is like if we can see him, after the draft is over. The other DTs there that did have an A power move. I don't know how good he's going to be. That 30 bench press rep is really bad. It's a drop from the combine. I've never really thought about the idea of that maybe the combine and the pro day is mixed. So maybe he's actually 32 bench press. I don't know, but I'm just going to take him. It's worth the risk. 86 strength, which is about expected. Don't know what the power move is, but if he's like a 72, 73 overall, he probably starts alongside the other DT, if you will, that we drafted. He's not really even a DT. He's kind of like an edge. He's like John Franklin Myers, realistically. Kind of just wherever you want to play him. Ooh, our kicker is gone? Or did it glitch? Okay, it did glitch. I was about to say, this is like the only halfway decent kicker, so we're going to grab him in the 6th round. Normal 93 kick power. Yeah. We're going to grab this really slow fullback because he's probably going to be the best one. He's actually a lot faster than I thought. He had like a 4.93, I'm pretty sure. From 71 speed. I guess that actually is pretty fitting. It's just when I see 4.93, I just assume like brick trying to roll down a hill, Looking at the overalls, not the best. Definitely not the best. I want to go to this guy first because I want to see if that A was a lie. Kind of. When you consider how good this class was supposedly at power move, that is kind of a misleading thing. Francisco's definitely not as good as they kind of hyped him up to be, but still, hidden development trade, automatic starter at DT, should actually bump a few in overall as well. Not going to wear number 78, don't worry. Only star. We have to compare that to the other guys. Stokes, once again, I don't really want to say that the best. He was probably the guy that I thought was going to be the best, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to go for the first when I have 3 names. So Reddick would have probably been the more realistic choice of mine. So if Reddick's really good, that's going to be an L. Number 28, really? Okay. I think we need him at left out as well. So left out, number 45, classic. Why not? And then the center, I don't even know how big he was, but he's the perfect size for left guard. Sweet. He's a really good-looking player as well. I don't know what his dev is going to be, but doesn't matter to me. Even if he's 23, 24, he's worth the pick, and he is star. Let's take a look at some of the guys we missed out on. I guess we'll take a look at Goldberg. What's his accuracy? Like 67? Ooh! He's actually just as good as Zerline literally out the gate. He's better than him, actually. All right, so Stokes, who went a little bit higher than I would have thought, was hidden development trait. He had better block shedding. He's about similar to our guy. I don't think he had any traits, though, for pass rushing. About similar to our guy, but what is the dev? If it's star, I don't really mind. And superstar, it does kind of suck, but that's all right. Fair enough. Like I said, I don't mind the first one as much because I'm not going to go for the first player ever in a situation like this. And then Reddick. Ooh. I did have that feeling, dude, and that's a lie. He had an A power move. It was 76. This guy was garbage compared to our guy. He had 3 less strength, despite the fact that he had only 2 less bench press reps. Well, we dodged a bullet. Simply put, we dodged a bullet. It would have been a little 50-50, because like I said, the other guy I didn't know the block shed on the block shed for the DT. Maybe isn't the most important thing, but I'd rather have B for a pass rush and a block shed than an A power move. As you can see, it seems like A power move means bad anyways, and more importantly, get out of here, dude. More importantly, normal dev. We go Jordan Lewis to the Bengals for a 5th round pick, reuniting him with Awuzie. Year 2 team, obviously some things have improved, some things have not. Amari Cooper, how old is he now? 29? I mean, that's still fine in game. Yeah, I mean, it's a good team. 83 overall probably doesn't even do it justice, but I assume things will change after the year when some of these guys jump very high in overall because of their potentials. And, look for a new safety next year, potentially, a new DT again. Gallimore just drops out of the lineup because he's just, even though he's star, he has zero potential, whereas my man's here, he's okay. He's got some, power move and whatnot, but yeah, that's the plan. DT, potential strong safety, and maybe even a center. I don't know. We do have to replace some of the older linemen at some point, but I think we'll be good for another year or two, so I'm not going to worry just yet. Speaking of those names, I'm not exactly sure how much money we have to re-sign players, but we're going to damn try, I'll tell you that. Trayvon Diggs, the numbers, fair enough, 5-year 82, I guess is worth it for us. 5-year 73 for CD Lamb. DeMarcus Lawrence, a 2-year 36 is actually pretty on par, and it's not going to cripple us completely. And then Tyron Smith, who's almost always a free agent, a 2-year 40. Not really sure what the Cowboys do to not be able to afford, Tyron Smith every time, but we seem to be fine. What do we do differently? Maybe there was some older guys. I guess maybe they keep more of the older guys that, this guy they would probably keep. Maybe they would keep, guys that just don't even contribute, and they're, lower overalls, but they keep them anyways for whatever reason. We can get rid of Tyler here, or we can keep him. I'm trying to think, he's a center. It's not the hardest position to fill. I mean, I kind of think maybe we just let him go. Here we are headed to the playoffs, and we actually did really well. It was a bit of a slow start, but had a really good season. Kept the scheme the same. Everything stayed the same. Didn't change a single speckle of this team. And you can see we had a pretty damn good year. Let's take a look at the numbers for the offense and the defense. Look like a couple of top performance of the league, and it sure seems that way. Dak, really good stuff. Rushing was better than last year. Pollard was even better, for touchdowns at least. Amari Cooper was insane. CeeDee Lamb was pretty good. Pierce was pretty good. Billingsley was, about what you'd expect for a tight end. O-line was pretty good. DeMarcus Lawrence with 19. I mean, this is... I don't want to go around saying, it's guaranteed. But this is a season where you look at these numbers and you're thinking, this is easily the best team in the league without a doubt. I mean, we had number 2 and 3 for MVP. Maybe not the number 1, but when you add number 2 and 3, it's kind of the MVP, right? Defensive Player of the Year. Any other awards? Baker on the Packers. Oh, please don't. Please don't. Cooper, Martin Lawrence. What are the chances of that? Martin Lawrence. Okay, dude. But Tampa, we're an 85 overall. Apparently, we're only an 80. Like I said, only an 85? Okay, fair enough. But even though they're higher overall, I have all the belief in the world that we're going to win this game. All right, Tampa, looking pretty decent. Defense holds up despite the fact that offense seemingly turned the ball over really early in the game. 10-6, right before halftime, we got the field goal. Not really a strong performance so far, but 20-6, 20-9. And it would have been nice to see a touchdown there. It would have put the game away, but amazing drive down the field. And defense really had themselves a performance here. That's impressive. I know it's not Brady anymore, but still, it's the Buccaneers roster. It's Madden. Didn't really expect us to win this situation, but we did. Really good performances, and once again, we're running the ball a lot with our backup. Even though Pollard's not really playing that well, at least it's realistic, I suppose. And Nahshon Wright's 6'4". I thought he was 6'3", 6'2" or 6'3". That's interesting. And it is the Panthers in the conference championship. Once again, we are a higher overall, but it doesn't seem to matter what the overalls are at all. So it really comes down to the Panthers, and they seem to make the playoffs and the Super Bowl a lot. As Miami was facing the Chiefs, and of course lost without a doubt, but I don't feel good anymore. This is a really great regular season team, but you look at the performances we're having here against these two teams, you just can't beat the Chiefs with this squad, and it won't matter, like we said. 3rd and 19, chance for the offense to do something. You got to score, and on 4th, I guess you do need that field goal to keep it alive, but I don't really like that situation. We're going to come in and watch this. I don't want to actually play it, but Gallimore sucks, so I don't really need to worry about that. We'll just user him. Went for the spin, and I got to return it because the game forces you to. Trayvon Diggs, he plays risky, and sometimes it pays off. Touchdown. Oh, my. That is a good performance there on that play for a guy that just got paid. I mean, I don't know what that decision even is, but okay, the Cowboys are in it. 2-point conversion. Can they get it, though? And they do. Can they stop the Panthers? They do. What is... Really? They're going to run the ball? I don't care, dude. It's a we've come in billions of times during rebuilds. We need a new number wide receiver 3, by the way. Is that Amari? He beats him. You might as well stay in bounds as much as possible. Late hit out of bounds. We'll take that. We'll decline it. Whatever. It's not really a legitimate foul. They would never call that in real life. Kind of just pushed him out like really lightly. What a turnaround, though. And the field goal a little early, to be honest. But the Cowboys win, and they're on their way to losing to they're playing the Chiefs. Of course, another very lackluster performance from the offense, but defense locked up hard when they needed to. Trayvon Diggs with a pick 6. I mean, I didn't make the play. You know, as man coverage, I didn't even tell them to press. I literally left it base. I didn't move anything around. I played DT, and I played it poorly. And Trayvon Diggs got a pick. The pick 6, I didn't make any crazy juke moves. I just ran in a line, and, you know, we're in the Super Bowl. Say what you want. I didn't do a damn thing other than that play to Cooper, but they had 3 timeouts. They had the chance. It's just, once again, the game, they don't manage the clock well. It was at least going to overtime at least, though, like we said, looking at Ezekiel Elliott, now an X factor once again, deserving this time at least. Defensively, let's see what we have. Any dev-ups? Clifton goes up, and it felt like someone else went up, but I don't think they did. They didn't. It was just Clifton. Owen, you got to do better, because Clifton's already a superstar now, and he has mid-zone KO, which is insane. It's a really good ability to have, but fair enough. Let's go against the Chiefs. It'd be impressive to win, but once again, the Chiefs are just the Chiefs. I'd be very surprised to win this, but we are on par with their team, both 86 overalls. Defense actually has stepped up. Can the offense step up? That's what we need. That's what we need more than anything. Here we are, Super Bowl. I don't know whose ball is whose. Okay, so right to left is them, left to right is us, and we had an okay start. Not bad. 7-0, 14-0 now. 17-0. 20-0. Okay, I mean, it's almost the 4th, but the Chiefs still have a chance. And boy, did this defense really clutch up. They held the Chiefs to 15 points, and they won the Super Bowl. That is actually nutso mode. The only thing I worried about is that we didn't fully look into all the contracts going forward. I know Dallas isn't in the greatest cap situation. Once again, we did let a lot of the guys go. You know, we lost Gallup. We did lose Leighton Vander Esch. We lost... who else? I feel like we lost another decently big name. We lost Connor Williams. We're going to lose Tyler Biadasz. Well, we're going to let him go. We don't have to lose him. So maybe there's someone else. Maybe you lose Pollard. But once again, Pollard really didn't even play that big of a factor in this. He actually was just as bad, if not worse, than any of the other backups we've had in the past. But there you go. Hoisting the Lombardi. Dak Prescott. I wouldn't say it's his time yet, but he definitely seems like a guy that's going to have a Super Bowl win. He feels like one of those under-the-radar guys that maybe isn't going to absolutely, like he has here, absolutely carry a team, 400 yards a game, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, no more a game. But he just feels like he's going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. We'll see, and we'll see if that's even with the Cowboys. And obviously he's there for the near and foreseeable future, but we don't know how things line up. And, I mean, the Cowboys are Super Bowl champions. Obviously, the only thing really left to do would be to try and repeat or win one more within the next 2 years. Once again, I still don't know the full definition of a dynasty. From what I've kind of understood, is like it's like 2 in a decade or so, or 3 in a decade, which still, I mean, that's hard to do. But it doesn't seem like, I've personally think it's 2 out of 3, at the least 2 out of 5. But the definitions are kind of like a little like, oh, no, this is what I think. Oh, this is what I think. It really is kind of like skewed. Like 2 Super Bowls out of 3 years is definitely a dynasty. 2 out of 5 is probably a dynasty. 2 out of 10, I don't know. It really depends on like if you're constantly giving people fits. Like if the Chiefs would have won a Super Bowl this year, they might still even have that chance because they've been very close. Again, they're technically a dynasty, I'd say, because they're constantly causing issues for the AFC teams and whatnot. So, it really is like, it is kind of an opinion-based thing. But yeah, for me, 2 out of 3 is the goal if you win a Super Bowl before 3 seasons, or even if you get to 3 seasons, whatever it is, in a rebuild. So we're definitely going to try for that, and enough talking, because that was just a lot of nonsense. But we got Poyer a ring. That's kind of cool. Poyer was a big part of the team. Obviously, our highest overall safety by far. Actually, did the free safety, did Kelvin Joseph go up in Dev? I don't think he did, but maybe that's why I thought Moore went up in Dev, and I just couldn't think of it. Did he? He didn't. Damn, dude. He's been absolutely wasted here for us. But, like, what are we supposed to do? He can't play corner because we don't need a spot. I mean, he'd be number 3 technically. I don't know, man. Trent McDuffie, we're going to go with zone coverage. He's a little bit of... I guess we're going slot. I went down to the zone. It didn't work, but I don't mind it because that's a pretty damn good upgrade. But, yeah, he's been a little slow developing as well. He's in the overall department. He's 81 overall now. I mean, he's entering year 3 for us, which isn't bad. But I thought maybe his overall would have been a little bit higher, but I guess it's okay. And then Francisco, I suppose, power move. They're really just trying to make him a pure DT, which with his athleticism is a bit harsh on him. 3 to power move puts him up to 76 with an 81 block shed already. Not bad. Poyer's down to a 79 overall, so we're definitely going to look to replace him, but he is on contract no matter what. So yeah, center, safety, DT. It's kind of the main goals here. And once again, I don't want to spend too much money, if any, in free agency. I think you just kind of want to keep who you got outside of our center, who's good, but is he really worth the money? And did he increase anyways? He didn't. I mean, 7 per is actually not crazy. But I always like to draft a lineman, even though we probably need to draft backup soon anyways. But once again, not really too much of a worry here. I just hope we don't get any surprises like, Tyron goes, Zach Martin goes really early for those guys. But for some reason, they retire earlier than guys like Richie Incognito and whatnot. I don't know why, but that just seems to happen in the game, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, wide receiver 3 wouldn't hurt either, but they do their job. Like Pierce, I will say, Pierce has developed really slowly. Like, this is a guy that's actually had, 1,500 yards over the last... Not even, he's more than that. He's almost up to 2,000 yards in 2 seasons with this crowded room. My sliders are on, 148 here for receivers. Bruh! He started a 66. He's only a 70 after 2 years of nearly 1,000 yards each as the slot receiver. What the hell? Excuse me? Okay, 22.6, whatever the hell the money is. And boy, good thing we didn't want any players because there are not many here. Don't get me wrong, Xavier McKinney obviously, flashes to everyone's eyes here, but not really a need. Free safety in general. Joseph's very fast and athletic, obviously, athletic, but overall, I just don't think there's much to replace him with. Once again, we can go for McKinney there, but that's a little expensive for us, and I mean, it's just, that's about it. You can't really do, maybe you draft someone, but even then, they'd have to be really good out the gate. I mean, Terrell Burgess wouldn't be terrible here, 25 years old. He's, basically the same as Kelvin Joseph. He just has the dev, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it. It really doesn't. Unless you're actually going to put that money out like we were just talking about. Just doesn't seem worth it. I think just in case the linemen do suck, maybe you offer a 1-year 4 for Trey Turner. If he's not interested, so be it. It's we haven't felt the money issues yet, but I also didn't check for this season if we have to pay someone big that we're just completely forgetting about. So it could be time. You never know. It could be time to get broke here. But I don't know. I feel all right about it. I feel like we're in an okay spot. It really seems like we're just, the issue is constantly improving, and then worrying about some of the older veterans here that are going to be gone. Speaking of Martin, Dak has played well enough for a restructure, or not a restructure, but an extension, which, I mean, I'm not to pay attention to the other guys, but 40 mil-ish per wouldn't be like terrible. But I mean, you could see here, there's not really, there's no issues. There's really, I mean, you got to just replace older guys. That's about it. Ooh, Parsons, actually. There it is. There it is. I forgot about one position that can ruin you for life. Parsons, the outside linebacker position, which, I mean, in this case, he kind of, I wouldn't say is an edge rusher, but for Madden's sake, he's better, he's closer to an edge rusher than most outside linebackers that aren't in a 3-4. In Madden's terms of simming, rebuild-wise, I definitely would let him go if it was just like, I got to do what I got to do to keep this team rolling. But for a realism standpoint, it's going to be very tough to let a guy like him go. So maybe we'll look at linebacker just in case. But overall, I think we're going to try what we can to keep him around. We trade off 32 and it's 87 next year for 26 from the Steelers, which I think we're going to be using on another DT type, as that is another big positional need. And this guy, where is he? Looks very good. Mr. Matthew Cobb, 6'5", 290. Similar situation, 34 bench press reps, very fast. It worked out last time. We're going to go for it again. And another hidden. These are the types of guys I normally wouldn't draft either. These are the guys that normally are really weak in strength, which 86 isn't great per se, but really weak in strength and just are normal. There's never good, but it's worked out this to rebuild, and he's obviously insanely fast, could play edge if he really wanted to, but yeah, that's not bad. I mean, maybe even not, the number one need for us, but fair enough. It's a good pick, as always, with us at least, it seems, this draft. This free safety was the guy that they mentioned during the prospect thingy. I put him on my focus training, didn't give me it, and I was like, okay, I guess not meant to be. It wouldn't hurt to add Kirk Poyer, who actually looks really solid, just for the fact that a C-man, C-press, and really fast in the third to fourth. That's like, that seems like it could be like a star dev player. I don't know if that's really the biggest need. I'm going to just go for one of the linemen. I know just enough about both of them to say that they're good enough. Whitfield is probably the better of the two, just because once again, it's the center. Those guys seem to be automatically good, but we're just going to wait until one goes and then make the trade up. Trade a fourth next, a fifth this, and 96 move up 20 spots in the third round because the Browns took the center. We probably needed an interior guy more than anything, but hopefully this tackle, he wasn't that big, was he? 6'4". We're fine. He's built like a guard. We're all right. Hidden development trait. I mean, I'm not really super surprised by it anymore, but strength is great. Athleticism is great, and we've had a really good set of drafts in this rebuild. Got to give it to us. And I probably should... I can't trade up anymore. It's probably not doable. Brandon Moore. I mean, we could once again kind of use a number 3 or whatever. If he's there at 19 in the 5th, we'll grab him. If not, whatever, dude. We're just chilling. We're going with the flow here. Wide receiver's gone. This DT was an interesting guy. I know he's undrafted. Maybe we grab him in the 6th round or whatever, but I'm not really too pressed, so we're going to trade down for once. Taking Theo Norris here, who is hidden development trade. I will say a lot slower than I thought. He had a 4.55. I thought maybe 88, 89 speed, but hidden development trade, I don't really know how that helps us, but sure. I mean, it's something. Once again, wide receiver's not super hard to develop, so in the user class, you just wouldn't care. Unless he's superstar or better, which once again, at this round, you just don't expect. And we have a good kick power projected punter, so Mitchell's the choice. 92 kick power. Fair enough. See what kind of overalls we landed. 75 overall. Not a whole lot of picks this time around, but Cobb's very good block shedding. Kind of similar to the last guy. Shocker. Similar to the last guy we drafted. They literally look like twins. A little bit smaller in size, but I mean, varying sizes for DT isn't the worst thing in the world. Once again, star development trade, a little lackluster, but it's fine. Peters, who's our new left guard. It's a position we... Actually, no, he's not our new left guard, is he? Who was our last left guard? I think this guy's probably built a little better to play guard, so we're going to move the other guy back to center, I think. And then Theo Norris, 65 overall. I mean, what do you really get out of this guy? Like, he's just, you know, the hidden development trait once again, unless he's superstar better, which he literally just won't be, it's just not really, you know. It's cool to have, but it really doesn't matter. And then the punter is 68 overall, normal development trait with, I mean, some redeeming factors, I guess. It's not common to find someone better than like 92, 93 kick power in the draft. We had another guy that definitely, this guy I absolutely did think was better. But once again, normal development trait. Okay. Once again, I don't make the first DT play. And honestly, I played this riskier than normal. Like, this guy was up there, but I didn't have him as my guy. I just didn't see the potentials there. And obviously, you can see not great in general. At least our guy had, what was it, a block shed. Let's take a look at his dev. Probably superstar or something. Only star. So it seems like we made the right call. Unless there was some sneaky player in there that was even better. But yeah, that's it. Aragon. I'm pretty sure that's a name for a freaking player. What the hell? Kind of mythological bullcrap. Odigizua to the Dolphins for a 5th-round pick. All right, year 3 after a Super Bowl victory. The team is better than it could be. Once again, we're not going for any free agents or anything like that. Poyer's like the only one. You know, we've built this from the, well, I wouldn't say the ground up, because, you know, this team has had obviously a lot of the pieces in place already. But, you know, Duffy, Cobbs, Francisco, Sanders, Clifton, Popo, I don't give a damn. Does it look like I care? Billingsley, Sajka, and Peters. I mean, we did add a lot. We had near perfect drafts, and it's a little weird to think, because if you actually look at the team, it's actually not that good. Like, this is a team with the drafts we had that you would think would be, like, just better. But it's not. I still like it, and obviously it was good enough to win a Super Bowl, but I'm a little surprised we're not in, like, the 90s already, honestly. Ooh, finally a dev up for once. Negotiations. There's some money to be spent, apparently. All right, I'm trying to think of who's the most important here besides Dak. So Dak's the most important. We're going to knock out a 4-year deal worth whatever the hell this is. I think it's like 41, 42 per, I'd have to guess. About Lael Collins, probably have to think about that as well. Zach Martin, I think, is a 2-year deal I'm willing to pay. I just don't think the money that we have here is real, though. You know what I mean? I know it's weird to say, but it just doesn't feel real. Because how do we have so much money left over despite the fact that, like, these are the guys you have to pay, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess Parsons will give him a 6-year 119, whatever. We got money, why not? Dak, Lael, I mean, we can afford him, but do we want to? You know, he's a really good player, I suppose, but it's a weird thing. Really? I mean, that felt like a really good deal. Kelvin Joseph, we're going to give him a 3-year deal. Even if he's not the starter, he's at least a good backup at minimum. And Amari, I want to be a 2-year or a 3-year, and I don't know if he's going to accept that. We'll probably have to just tag him. Another pretty good year. If we win, we might have another bye week, and we did win. Let's take a look at the season. It was a pretty good start, a little shaky, and then, once again, finished out pretty damn well. Obviously, the last 4 games had those 2 losses in a row, but overall, 13-4, another really good year. Back-to-back Super Bowls, definitely still in play without a doubt. Dak, way worse season though. Although rushing was once again pretty damn good. Receiving was okay, but definitely worse than normal. Offensive line was pretty good. Sack totals, Francisco with 12, 21 for Lawrence, 10.5 for Cobbs. Gotta say though, Sanders has been pretty bad. He's been pretty bad. I don't know if it's because he doesn't play as much, but he has just done absolutely nothing. We'll have to take a real quick look. First, we'll take a look at interceptions. Nothing special. Let's take a look at Mr. Sanders, who's playing a lot. I mean, we're actually like underplaying Parsons right now because he's not really on the edge. Comes in every once in a while, but I guess Sanders is losing his spot on the edge. I don't know what to tell you. Sanders has just not been worth it. But looking at the awards, this was a down year for sure. Cobb's Rookie of the Year, which is awesome, but definitely a down year, without a doubt. There's no arguing it. Panthers, team that we had to beat, and it was a close matchup to go to the Super Bowl. So an early rematch, 84 overall for them, 89 for us. So we are vastly improved based on overall alone. Chiefs, of course, move on to the championship round. 3-0, 10-0. Not a good start for us, but 10-7, 10-14, 21-10. It's a bit of a turnaround there, but the Panthers are still in it technically. That stop at the end there definitely keeps them in it, and that will be it, as they have not scored since. Nice try on that deep shot, but 42-24 is the finish, and better than any of the performances we had last year. Dak still not like, I mean, it's a really good performance, but still throwing a pick, still, not playing perfectly, if you will. Still really good performance, though. Obviously, 84% completion percentage is great. Cobbs, dude, this guy is nuts. That's crazy, Goldberg. 4 sacks as a DT, as a rookie. Lawrence had 3, and obviously the other guys around him are pretty good, but jeez, man. As Tony Pollard is now a 90 overall, we do have a sick offense, without a doubt. 2 to spin move, not really a good upgrade, to be honest, but Sanders, who's been basically useless, like we said, just done nothing. I mean, he's played starting numbers, and he's played almost double the numbers of Parsons, it seems, and yet has like the same production. Makes no sense. Cobbs, though, killing it, yet not even that good of a pass rusher. That was a big upgrade for him, and it puts him at 74. So I don't know if it's just like they're focusing on the guys that actually are good at pass rush, and he gets in because of it. But, I mean, that's hard to still believe if you're putting up those kind of numbers. Packers, 84 overall. That team has got to be a completely different beast in a bad way. Bobby White, double me wide receiver. Interesting. Closer game on the other side, but as expected, the Chiefs make the Super Bowl. We get stopped, and Green Bay's in a good spot, but they're not able to score. It's not as bad as us, who haven't even scored once yet. Nice touchdown drive. Halftime, it is 10-all now. 10-13, 17-13, 24-13. You can just kind of see, like, we are the better team, but the game is just trying so hard for us to lose. With 3 minutes left, you're going for a field goal, though? Oh, wow. Okay, I don't know who did that, but that is some Green Bay business if you ever seen it. Baker Mayfield, apparently not that bad, actually. Who in the line? Must have been Zeke that had the sick run. Bobby White, dude, that guy's good. He's insane. Sack totals, we'll take a look. Za'Darius, nothing really special this time around. We got a pick with McDuffie. Goldberg's been awful, but not as bad as Sanders, apparently. That's missing 2 out of 5? Sure, I guess. Once again, we already said it. The Chiefs, I'm trying to think if anyone would have had a dev up. Maybe once again, defenders, but let's show you guys we didn't force any wins or anything like that. I forgot to show last season, I think, but I mean, it really doesn't matter. Once again, it's the Cowboys. It's a pretty easy team to rebuild. More of a reload, like we said. Was a little worried about some of the age and maybe some contracts, but starting with a guy like Dak and a running back in Madden, at least, like Zeke, once again in real life, I don't really think of him as that, super highly anymore, but in Madden, he's an absolute freak. But yeah, I mean, with those starting pieces and the drafts we had, look at Francisco. Going from star to X Factor in a year. I mean, well, in the same year, I suppose. Insane block shed guy. But yeah, I mean, some of the positions are a little low, though, so I'm a little surprised that we're doing this. Although you can see a lot of the performances are very realistic, not super crazy dominating performances. As the Chiefs numbers-wise, their team-wise just doesn't compare to ours, but they do have some insane playmakers I don't know if we can actually keep up with. All right, going to the end of the game, and we get the stop. We score 7. Chiefs with a huge rushing touchdown. We can't be letting the Chiefs score rushing touchdowns. That's just unacceptable. We got to stop their pass game more than anything. We gave them a safety, and we just can't score. What is going on here? This is a weird old game, but the Chiefs have a good chance to tie the game up, and they will with 1 minute left and a penalty on top of it. 2nd and 10, is it? What's going on here? Is the clock running? No. I mean, I don't believe in this kicker anyways, but, I mean, at least give him a chance, right? Give the guy a chance. Let's see it. See if we can find anyone open. That's a predetermined every day of the week, and it's hit. On the money. 1st and 10. Was it a 38-yard line? 50-yard? You're really going to go for the field goal right away. Once again, I don't want to, like, just win the game for them, but it's just, like, stuff like that. It just makes you wonder, like, why? You know, why would you do this to yourself? I guess that's worse. That is so dumb, by the way. Remember the whole thing where I was like, I'm not always guaranteed to help the team? That's happened. Although, offense still has a chance. Oh, my God. I have to try to fix this. I have no choice, all right? I mean, they have their best players on the wrong guys, and we're still not winning? Who is this? CeeDee Lamb? CeeDee Lamb. Oh, and he misses. What a spin. Doesn't really matter. But down to the 28. What a play. I mean, it's a sick offense. I haven't even freaking used the running backs. You know, I'm just throwing it like a madman. Let's go to him, Zeke. It's out of bounds, but it doesn't really matter. I should just let the game just like play this out, see if they can do it on their own. What's their plan? Oh, did they just score right away? Okay, better than me. I'll put it that way. A lot better than I did. I freaking threw a pick when they had a chance to kick the game-winning field goal, even though the field goal kicker's been super shaky. But back-to-back rings. Yeah, I don't feel like in general this is very realistic of the Chiefs' reaction, but especially after losing back-to-back, especially when the Chiefs once again had a chance to kind of solidify themselves as the greatest team ever, and instead they're kind of seeing us take that place. I don't think they'd be super like, darn, you got us again. Yeah, man. I kind of have a weird feeling that it probably wouldn't go over like this, but of course we've already seen the celebration. We've really done what we need to do. We've succeeded. We've forced 2 interceptions on Mahomes. Not bad. I will say, though, Pollard, very 50-50 in this one, even though he's a very good overall. Maybe that helped in general anyways. Look at the freaking sack totals. DeMarcus Lawrence, my king. Goldberg, okay. Maybe I didn't sell that bad. I know he had a 55-yarder, but goddamn, this Goldberg dude. He's so bad. But yeah, let's take a look at some of the players on the team. Some of the guys that, needed to develop from real life. Some of the guys that had a chance to become, like, some of the greatest ever at the position. Parsons with that overall is obviously insane. Not very good in coverage, but an insane pass rusher. And really not much to look at there. Billingsley, even here, we really didn't develop him that great, but he's obviously a mismatch nightmare. Let's look at CeeDee Lamb. I don't really need to look at Cooper. He didn't really go up too much, technically. CeeDee Lamb, a very good medium to deep route guy, just fast enough. I mean, basically, a younger Amari Cooper, honestly. Defensively, let's take a look at Mr. Clifton, who's still pretty young, superstar dev, 82 overall, insanely fast. He's like the coverage version of Micah Parsons. My man Owen here, he's all right, pretty good in coverage. Hasn't really played that well. Block shedding does suck. And then Parsons, what's his abilities, actually? Secure tackler and speedster, fair enough. Once again, never really developed as a coverage guy, but good in the pass rush, good enough for block shed and whatnot. Sanders will look at, but once again, he was awful for us. 91 finesse, but just never did a thing. Don't care about Lawrence too much for his ratings, because once again, he's just regressing every year. Trayvon Diggs, 99 zone coverage, which is going to be kind of ironic because McDuffie is probably going to be like 90-plus man coverage. Yeah, maybe that's how it worked out. You just have one really good man, one really good zone, and what can you do? Except for, when they both have to play at the same time on something they don't like at one point or another. But Francisco, insane block shedder. Just overall, a good team. Goldberg, though, dude, this guy, I mean, good kick accuracy out the gate technically, but just terrible. He's so bad. I guess we'll look at Kelvin Joseph, a guy that, the Cowboys fans probably have a lot of hopes for, even though we kind of ruined him by playing him at safety. But, I mean, he just didn't have a spot at corner because McDuffie was there and he was kind of a best available pick type of situation. And I may or may not have forgotten completely about Kelvin Joseph, but it is what it is. That is going to be the realistic style rebuild of the Dallas Cowboys. Once again, if you enjoyed this, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PK Plays, and then twitch.tv/Jeromepkr for streams. But of course, if you have any ideas for rebuild challenges, blast on the pass ideas, career re-simulations, anything like that, let me know. Also, I don't know. This might be the last realistic rebuild, like I said earlier in the video. But if it's not, and you know for a fact which one it is, let me know, and I'll maybe look it up. And if that's true, then we'll end up doing that next, probably. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Once again, I uploaded a second channel video yesterday, GTA San Andreas Part 5. Maybe check that out while you're waiting for a stream, or if I turn out not to stream, it's like, darn, I guess I'll go watch that. Maybe check it out. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya! Reload. No, no, no! No! He executed my ass! That's gonna be an interesting spawn point. Really? I'm gonna risk that the bridge is there. Ah, it's back. Okay, well, there's, ironically enough, there's a glitch for you. Oh. Maybe if you weren't so freaking fat, the thing would actually be moving. Oh, the detonator. Ow!